Hello again. This is Brian Wallace from CLA, your laundry association, and I wanted to bring you a fresh legislative and advocacy update. You know, a big part of what we do here at the association is to track any kind of legislative or regulatory threats facing the industry, and it's a big part of what we do. So I wanted to share out some status here as we're working our way into February of 2025 and give you a sense of what's been going on out there. So let's start with microfiber filtration mandates. This is an issue we've been working on, as you well know, over the last couple of years, primarily in California. But as we're getting into the new year, not surprisingly, this motion to require each and every washing machine sold into these various states be equipped with its own onboard microfiber filtration system. We know that that's not practical. If it is eventually practical, or at least feasible, it'd be expensive. And so we're constantly trying to educate legislators and regulators about how this particular issue would impact our industry. So what's the current status? Things are fairly quiet in California after we turned back that legislation toward the end of 2023 and into 2024. However, that same model legislation has been introduced in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Oregon, and Illinois. So those first three have been quiet as far as I can tell, but Illinois definitely has been a little bit more active in pursuing that legislation. So, as we often do when we triage and determine that there's a really intense threat, we hired a lobbyist, and we are working to educate those legislators here in Illinois. As recently as last week, we met with both the sponsor on the House side and the Senate side, and making our case to essentially remove commercial washers from the scope of that legislation. So again, we'll bring you more updates as we go along. If we eventually need some calls and emails to go out to legislators, I'll let you know that for those of you that are in Illinois, but just know that we are absolutely on top of it and continue to monitor each and every state for any of those issues that are going on. As you well know, our other main issue that we face is sales tax. And knowing that in most every state, laundromats are exempt from collecting sales tax, which we think is the appropriate manner of speaking. Now, last year we had two major threats to that where laundromats were set to lose their exemption. That was in the state of Nebraska and toward the end of last year in Louisiana. Happy to report in both cases, we were able to fight hard and make sure that laundromats remain exempt while several other industries lost their exemptions in those two states. So as we get into 2025, it has been a little bit more active. We are monitoring Missouri, Indiana, again, Nebraska, who's continuing to have some of those conversations, as well as Oklahoma. So no reason to fear or panic yet in those states, but just know that we have identified some legislation proposed that could have a negative impact on our exemption in Missouri, Indiana, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. So stay tuned. We'll try to share out more on that as we go along. I guess I'd also like to point out that we also work on a national scale. So just last week, I participated in a stakeholder call with Energy Star, who is in the process of taking comments on their rules related to commercial washers and commercial dryers that fit within their parameters for Energy Star. We also bring in our manufacturer members as well as our partners and other related associations to make sure that we are all watching and listening and keeping an eye out for anything that could have a negative impact on our industry. So we're continuing to work on the Energy Star issues, which sometimes are the same as Department of Energy and sometimes not, but just know that that effort is underway. So how do we do all this? Well, I'm here watching it each and every week. We have a monitoring service that we subscribe to that we've worked with for over 25 years. They also help us identify lobbyists when we need to put those on. I get a report at my desk every Wednesday morning with every piece of legislation that could potentially impact our industry, again, to sort of read through and triage and identify potential threats. So it's a big part of what we do around here. I'd like to thank CLA's corporate ally partners at the elite level. That's Alliance Laundry Systems, Sense, Dexter Laundry, and Girbau North America. At our premier level, Laundry Lux and Spider Wash. These are partners that, as part of their strategic corporate ally commitment to CLA, have stepped up their financial support that in part helps us underwrite a lot of this advocacy work that we do when it comes to legislation and regulation. So that's a quick update. I'll continue to bring you up to speed, whether it's a general update or specific issues that may be affecting the industry. If you have any questions, you know how to find us here at Coin Laundry Association, laundryassociation.org, or you can just give us a call at 800-570-5629. We're going to continue to got your back and make sure that we're keeping an eye on any adverse legislation. And we'll talk to you next time.